Hey there again, folks. Welcome back to New Day, New Game. Today we're playing Treasure of a Blizzard. And I would like to thank the folks over at Flaming Firefly for letting me try this game out for free. This is a visual novel. Maybe like a romantic type visual novel. I'm assuming so anyway. Uh, I am noticing the tags on Steam say nudity and sexual content, so um, yeah. Might have to do my ad hoc editing that I do. The most unprofessional editing on YouTube. But I find it amusing, so. Well, let's get right into it. Let's see what this is about. I'm guessing maybe a blizzard. I usually see nightmares. Well, I was right. The nudity and sexual content was pretty accurate. It's blurred. The butthole and the vagina is covered. That's covered. It's not covered. It's blurred. But I'm not going to trust YouTube. I'm not going to trust it. That's okay for YouTube. So we're doing it the way that I'm doing it. It's covered, along with being blurred. So anyway, Eom. Are we saying Eom? Is this the name? Is this our first impression of someone called Eom here? Are we going like, is that what we're doing? I'm not sure. Eom? But sometimes I see pleasant dreams. Okay. I already forgot what we were talking about. He said something about he usually sees nightmares. Okay. But sometimes I see quite pleasant dreams. It's fun to peep at Lynn in the bathroom. Should I move them now? Don't know if it's safe to move them. Hey, what's the matter with you? Wake up already, you lie bed. How my body being shoved around? Normally I'd be annoyed by the treatment. This time it was a welcome relief. Let's leave it there until our eyes are open. Not that they'll probably be covering whatever it could be. Geez, would you open your eyes already? We need to get a move on before this weather gets any worse. We're not going to make it through the pass at this rate. Okay, we're safe. Let me remove them. Okay. Who is this? Opening my eyes, I caught my first sign of the day. A very grumpy Glenn. So I guess that was I guess that butt and accompanying part was this character here. I'm guessing because he said that something about it was from peeking at Lynn in the locker room. So. Oh, it's just you. There aren't a whole lot of people who want to wake up to a mean mug like yours. Wow. Hey, don't look at me like that. Lynn and I have known each other for so long that this has become the sort of thing that passes for a cheerful morning greeting between us. Well, you'll just have to deal with it. The sooner we get to the capital, the sooner I'll be out of your hair. See, she's hardly fazed. I'd be more worried if she were to actually act nice to me for once. Don't look like you slept well. Nightmares again? Hey, don't watch me sleep. It's creepy. Okay, so is this us? Okay, yeah, that's us. I'm going too far with that one. Taking to her feet with a huff, Lynn started on her way in silence, threatening to leave me behind. Luckily, I packed most of our things before sleeping anyway. Not that catching up to her was going to be too difficult no matter what I did. Man, this takes me back. Last time we saw each other, we were fighting over petty stuff like this, too. It's amazing how well this woman can hold a 3-year grudge. Now, don't go thinking I don't like her, cause I do. She's just way too fun to mess with, that's all. Had to pick up the pace, though, or she really was going to leave me behind. With all our stuff, too. What's she going to do if I didn't follow her? Hey, so what was it you heard about this place earlier? You said you were going to tell me. Oh, I know that look. She's trying to decide whether she wants to talk or keep sulking. Maybe she doesn't even remember what I'm talking about. Nah, she definitely does. She's way too keen on the pointless details to forget. Oh, so now you want to hear about it. Still giving me a hard time. She thinks I'm just trying to distract her from our squabbling. It's so late in the summer. Why is it so cold around here? I was going to say, this does not seem like summer. Actually, nowadays it does seem more like summer than it could be, you know. Even the mountains should only be capped a little this time of year. What's with the high snowdrifts in the pass? This weather is too unnatural. Maybe you should have asked your drinking buddy about it. I swear you're so tuned out sometimes. You really should pay more attention when people are talking about this kind of stuff. But she's got me there. Have you run into any dire wolves before? You should have seen at least a few if you were patrolling the border. They say the wolves are gathering into larger packs. Can you imagine that? Even alone or in pairs. They're dangerous beasts. If they start hunting together, we're in trouble. As usual, Lynn was worrying herself about the wrong things. She lets any silly rumor get to her easily. I was more concerned about this harsh winter that wouldn't go away. I was going to say, wolves do seem like they're a concern, you know. I'm not worried about wolves. I want to know where all this snow is coming from. Cut to the wolves attacking us. You didn't know? Then maybe you'll find this a little more interesting. It's White Walkers. There's a spirit haunting these mountains, the ghost of some poor soul who died trying to cross the range. Maybe they're trying to scare travelers away. Maybe they want to steal our bodies so they can walk among the living again. I was just joking. I didn't expect it to actually be White Walkers. I couldn't be sure whether Lynn was trying harder to scare me or herself. She was having a hard time keeping her composure while she spoke. Best not to cross paths with them then. We know how weak you are when it comes to magic. Widening her eyes, Lynn went pale with worry. Well, turnabout's fair play after all. You're not scaring me. I'm a soldier, not a kid. Careful, Lynn. Better not let your commander see you like this. At least she was ready to drop the act. Anyway, the pass is always like this. It snows here year-round. Didn't you know that? Might seem a little strange since other mountains not far from here aren't buried under snow like this. That's how it is. Okay, so yeah, it sounds like wolves are more of a concern than the weather. By the way, I've heard that the beastmen are getting more active again. Normally they should be dug into their holes and not wandering around this time, like this. Maybe it's got something to do with the wolves. You're not listening at all, are you? Some about beast wolves, etc. and so forth. Of course I wasn't listening. I had felt a gust of warm air. I was already looking for the source. We weren't really dressed right for the cold. I hadn't been expecting it, and I guess Lynn was just planning to tough it out. Finally caught sight of what I had been looking for. Hey, there's a stream over there, a hot spring maybe. We could use the chance to warm up. Lynn scowled. As much as she didn't like being ignored, it was obvious that the cold was getting to be too much for her. She couldn't stop herself from shaking in the snow. Need a break, just say so. But you know, we've only been on the trail for about an hour. You're not going to make the cold go away by sitting in it every time you get a little uncomfortable. Guess we won't need to start a fire here. We quickly found a fallen tree near the source of the spring. It was good enough to keep us off the ground while we stopped at least. We were upwind of the spring's geyser, so I figured we could take shelter by it without getting sprayed too much. After checking to see that she wouldn't be disturbing any nests of frostbite ants, Lynn found a place to seat herself and open up her pack. I couldn't blame her for being cautious. Those things rightly earned their name with the venom in their pincers. Yeah, let's not mess with any frostbite ants. I don't want to mess with any fire ants or any ants, you know. Maybe my aunts that, you know, are married to my uncles. But those, you know, other ants, no. She said about slicing herself a meal of some bread and cheese. None for me, I guess. Lynn can be surprisingly thoughtless sometimes. Weren't you in a hurry to get to the capital? She didn't wait for me to reply before satisfying her hunger. Would you be in this kind of situation? Losing my patience, I snatched Lynn's dagger away from her and claimed my share of our rations. Food really blinds this woman to everything around her. He is seeming a bit judgmental so far. I know you're not happy about all this, but you don't really have a choice if you want to help your father. What kind of idiot openly offers aid to rebels anyway? All this trouble is his own doing. I had a hard time choking down my meal after hearing her words. Lynn knew better than that. Father may have been too generous, too naive, but he only thought he was helping refugees. How could he have known he'd be charged with harboring enemies of the Imperium? Don't worry, you're not under that much suspicion. Might have to be guarded to make sure you don't try anything rash, but that's all. You're not an enemy of the state yet. Lovely. Wish you had served with me in the capital instead of coming way out here. We could have settled this matter much faster and nobody would be doubting you now. This situation is only harder than it has to be because you're so stubborn. You again with this. How many times do I have to tell you that this isn't happening? I'm not going to hang back in the comfort of the city just to grovel for breadcrumbs at the feet of some posh nobles. Before I could realize it, Lynn grabbed me by the collar and threw me down, hard. I definitely went too far with that one. You have something to say, just come out with it. You got a problem with the way I live my life? I'm really confused by what's happening right now. A burst of steam hissed over Lynn's words as a sprout of hot water erupted behind her. Standing over me as she wound up shielding me from getting hosed down in the blast. Rotten luck on her part, it seemed. Oh damn it. The shock had knocked her off her feet. With her being half soaked, the bitter air quickly stole away most of the warmth she had managed to gather since we stopped. Hey, are you alright? Thanks to Lynn, I'd barely been touched by a sudden spout. After making sure that the eruption was finished, I decided to check on Lynn to see how bad she got it. Her back was still hot, but she was definitely too wet for the weather now. She couldn't be left like this. I'm fine. That does it. She's definitely not going to be okay unless I do something. Though I hated to part with it, I took off my cloak and offered it to her. Stop it, I don't need that. You take it. Why do I look like a charity case? She pushed herself away from me and sat down on the fallen tree. Though she stubbornly tried not to, she couldn't help but shiver again. She glanced at me for a moment, then quickly looked away. Idiot, what was she trying to prove? You don't be stupid, you're soaked. You need it more than I do. Why, so you can tell me how much I grovel for scraps? Don't bother, I can. She wanted to be obstinate, and that was her business, but my business was that I wasn't going to let her freeze to death because she wanted to be childish. Not waiting for her to complain anymore, I threw my cloak over her, whether she wanted me to or not. Probably a little too forcefully. No, definitely too forcefully. I slipped on the soaked ground and I fell off my feet into a pile of powdery snow. Hoped to find that Lynn had taken the cloak off and lowered it onto me. Hey, I'm the one trying to help you out here. I was a softie from the comfortable city. A little bit of harsh climate wasn't going to hurt me. But Lynn was a different matter. Stubborn as she wasn't taking this situation or her health seriously enough. So is she from a rich family or something? Is that why that was so insulting, what he said earlier? I'm assuming that's what it is. But if she wants to make a stupid game out of this, I'll play it. I kept quiet and waited for her to break so she would have to speak first. I didn't ask you to. What, time for another nap already? Well, stop that. Don't be stubborn. Now you really will need to wear that cloak. Finally, she approached and held out her hand to help me up. How would we answer softly? I mean, who do you think you are? You know, that seems like a bit of an asshole, Thurman. Why do we have to answer softly? I guess that's what we'll do because the other one does seem mean. You're still the same girl of character I liked once. Okay, I guess he's saying that she had character. You remember us fighting in the snowdrifts? What are you talking about? I remember. Lynn got even far redder and turned aside. Probably her mood got even worse than mine had been. I stood up and offered her my cloak once again. Lynn, come on, for our childhood friendship's sake. Take the cloak. Your stubbornness will make everything worse. Not looking at me, she stretched her hand out and took the warm cloak. Having put it on, she awkwardly took back the mount. We need to go that way. Her quiet voice was hardly heard. Maybe her cold was even worse than I expected. Lynn, won't you light a campfire and make yourself warm? She quickly negatively shook her head and, putting away the mount, moved to the way she had pointed before. Negatively shook her head. I thought most head shakes were negative, you know. Nodding of the head is positive, but there's very few shakes that are positive. I quickly gathered the belongings and followed her. Probably I should have insisted on the longer halt, but right now Lynn doesn't look to be in the mood to be persuaded easily. Okay, the sun crept over the mountain ridge beyond our reach, taking all but the last of our daylight with it. I was really starting to get worried about Lynn. As much as she tried to hide it, even with the cloak, she was in a bad way. If she kept pushing herself like this, she would be in no condition to travel tomorrow. Hey, I think we should share a blanket tonight. With that word, Lynn drew her sword and came just shy of skewering me with it. I guess that was her answer. Fair enough. Looks like she was still mad about it earlier. Hey, don't look at me like that. It's too frigid to sleep alone out here. I'm just thinking we need to stay warm so we don't die tonight. Before I could finish, I picked up on some movement out of the corner of my eye. Something was watching us from the tree line. Hey, did you see that? The culprit, a lone striped deer, came into my view. Took off as quickly as it had come. Strange, it didn't seem that we were the ones who spooked it. Hey, how about you at least look me in the eye when you try to smooth things over with your dumb lies? I'm trying to tell you, it's not like that. The freezing wind suddenly picked up, cutting through us like a knife's edge. It howled as it carved through the pass. And weren't you saying something about the wolves hunting in bigger packs before? It occurred to me that Lynn's sword was the only weapon between us. Even on the border, there were guys like her who liked to tell stories about monsters terrorizing whole squads of armed men. I didn't buy any of the tall tales, but even a normal pack of wolves could be a serious problem if I didn't have a way to defend myself. He was acting earlier like, wolves, whatever. I don't care about wolves. I didn't wait for Lynn to give me her answer. Calling her bluff, I brushed her sword aside and took her by the hand. We shouldn't hang around in these parts too long. We need to find some shelter, or at least safety. Stay out of their hunting grounds so they don't mistake us for a meal. Lynn sheathed her sword. I noticed out of the corner of my eye, her face getting redder than usual. You feel worse, don't you? If you like, I can carry you in my arms. However, if she feels sick, I can carry her too. At least I experienced worse situations when I was in the army. No, go ahead. Go, you fool. She pushed my arm away and made the distance between us larger. Okay, now she's moving all by herself without staggering. It's better to be alert for something unexpected. Kept going further towards the mountainous pass. As quickly as a snowstorm would allow us. Okay. Twilight passes on the trail. It was getting harder to move in the darkness, but we hadn't found a reasonable place to make camp either. Lynn wasn't doing well, but neither was I. The night was starting to chill the both of us to the bone. We weren't going to last much longer like this. Thankfully, we didn't have to. Hey, do you see that? It looks like there's light over there. Even in the thick of the snow, it was easy for me to spot the dim glow in the distance. It was the only sign of life we'd seen since we lost the sun. Lynn followed my gaze without enthusiasm. She didn't seem to believe me. I don't see anything. Even so, Are you sure it's a good idea? You never know what could be in a strange house out here. She wasn't being unreasonable. A badly maintained house out here could be as good as one strong gust of wind away from collapsing on its supports. If that was less certain than death we'd face out here, I gave Lynn a nudge to let her know we were going for it. It's better than staying out here. I'll take the chance. Or would you rather stay out here and deal with what lurks in the forest? Yeah, I kind of do agree with him on that one. I mean, the house has been built, standing there for a while, so you know, in probably as bad a weather. So, although if it were to be me, I would be the unlucky one to have the house blow over while I was in it. House has been standing in bad weather for 50 years. I get there and it... Look, you can deal with a few wolves. Say anything about wolves? Didn't you say there could be lingering spirits haunting this past too? What do you do about those? Hey, don't start with that. I wasn't serious, okay? There's probably no ghosts out here, so... These superstitions were a great tool to use now. She was way too pig-headed to believe she could be brought down by wild animals, even in her state. Forget scaring her with the threat of death by the elements. She doesn't know the difference between discomfort and danger. So it's pretty much limited to frightening her with the kind of things you'd use to scare a child. As long as it kept us out of real danger, I was willing to humor her about these things. I nudged again, bringing us closer to the light. Guess we better see what's out here then. Okay, that's a lived-in house. Following the glow of the light led us into a clearing with a strangely well-kept house. Who would live in such a well-maintained home out here in the wilderness? Such a quaint little thing you'd almost expect to find it in a cozy town, not in the middle of a mountain pass. As we approached, we found a door plate at the entrance with a curious inscription. Come on in and have a good time. Not bad whoever you are, though I would have preferred something more like, drink to your heart's content. Was this a coaching inn then? Doesn't seem like it would get very many customers out here. What does it mean by coaching inn? It's like football coaches or something like that? Basketball coaches? Okay, run around the court. Shoot those free throws. Try to intercept the ball. Nothing. The lights are on, but nobody's home. Well then, let's not waste any more time. Just go in now, and if anybody comes back, we'll explain ourselves then. Trembling either from the chill or from her own unease, Lynn decided to draw her sword. Hopefully a human is all that lives here. I don't think the owner is going to be happy to have their house broken into at sword point. Ignoring me, Lynn went inside. With little other choice, I followed behind, hoping she wouldn't cause too much trouble. Take the cloak. Keeping a firm grip on her blade, Lynn motioned to me commandingly. Taken aback by her sudden assertiveness, I did as I was told. Had only just started folding it up when I heard the sound of footsteps from the second floor. Lynn and I stood motionless. Not to my surprise, a gorgeous woman gracefully descended the staircase to the ground floor. Apparently unconcerned with the intrusion, she gave us a welcoming smile, as if we had been expected honored guests. Okay. Very sorry about the intrusion. We had to. Not waiting for me to finish, our enigmatic hostess came directly within reach of me as if I were no threat to her at all. Gently, she reached out to brush herself from my shoulder. Drawing back, she grazed at my cheek with her delicate fingers, stealing the words from me in one smooth motion. Well, it's been so long since I've had guests. Please stay with me. I'd much love the company. I guess her name is Mai. May? Mia? I'll say May. It's frightfully cold out. Won't you stay tonight? We have a few rooms to spare for customers if you're so inclined. Stepping between us, Lynn interjected herself into the negotiation. You still got your money, don't you? I hope you didn't lose any of it at the spring. Of course I didn't. Why, did you? No, just making sure. I was thinking about leaving you out in the cold if you couldn't pay for your own fare. Then Lynn clutched at my shirt to pull me in close, lowering her voice with a cold tone. She might be a snow witch, you know. Stop letting her seduce you. Why are you assuming I'm being seduced? I was taken aback by the sudden accusation. Lynn was always superstitious, but this time something seemed out of place. Are you jealous? Of course not. Pushing me nearly hard enough to throw me off my footing, Lynn redirected her sword against me. Suddenly realizing how silly she looked, she turned back to her hostess with a renewed suspicion. Frankly, it was amazing how well this poor woman kept her composure with all of Lynn's flailing about. Please call me May. I'm sorry to disappoint you, but I am no snow witch, young lady. May's calm demeanor had shaken Lynn's resolve. Needing to remind Lynn that we were guests in this woman's home, I pushed her sword gently down to her side. Excuse me. My name is Kang, and this here is Lynn. Please forgive her. She's pretty superstitious about people around these parts. Have been telling her all sorts of ghost stories. I'm afraid she's on her last nerve. Lynn shot me an angry glare. Well, she could glare all she wanted, since the tension here was pretty much all her fault. Maybe a little embarrassment will teach her some manners. It's quite alright, I understand. Besides, she's not completely wrong. Unthinking, Lynn swiftly raised her sword again. You mean you're a snow witch after all? But May patiently raised her hands in a conciliatory gesture. Heavens no, I'm nothing so spectacular. I've simply heard such tall tales myself about this past. Lynn was hardly consoled. As far as she was concerned, the story was only being confirmed with every person who already knew about it. Honestly, though, if May was a snow witch, she probably wouldn't tell us. Or she might. She might be very proud about her occupation. So I'm not sure. She might be like, I went to Snow Witch College for 12 years. And I know about every spell there is. Watch this. Bloop. A mixtape. I don't know. I was like, I don't know what to say here. So yeah. I'm getting a little sleepy. I knew it. There are ghosts here, aren't there? That's the downside of recording these at night. I'm well awake. 20 minutes later, I'm getting drowsy. I sighed and rumpled her hair. Calm down, I won't let anybody hurt you. The inoffensive phrase I used to say when a child made Lynn worry even more. You were doomed to failure for sure. It gave May an apologetic smile. Well, there you have it. The ghosts of the mountains have chased a pair of guests into your house tonight. Actually, come to think of it, I could use a drink or two to take the edge off. You wouldn't happen to have anything good, would you? May returned my request with an emphatic smile. This was definitely in her wheelhouse. As it happens, I do. Hospitality is my specialty. After all. Please make yourself comfortable. I will return with refreshments shortly. As May left the service, Lynn and I took our places at the table. Now, isn't this the strangest thing? What's a looker like her doing all alone out here in the middle of nowhere? A looker? You've only got one thought running through that filthy mind of yours. Probably does. Well, no use of dying at that. I was going to say that the dream he had earlier. I do see your point, though. Out here, anything could happen. You could be spirited away one night. And nobody would ever know what happened to you. The implications. Out here in the middle of nowhere. The implications. Spirited away, talk about having a one-track mind. She's lucky the Imperial Guard doesn't task their soldiers with ghost hunting. And think I was concerned for her health. She's clearly lively enough once you get her imagination going. Couldn't help but notice how she had inched her way closer to me as the subject dragged on. It's amazing how easily spooked she was by childish scare stories. I figured I'd better keep the conversation going so she wouldn't get too frazzled. She probably just inherited this house from her family. It's not that far-fetched if you think about it. I mean, why would you jump to thinking she's a snow witch? You don't actually think those are real, do you? Normally people who live in places like this, you know. Normally people don't live in places like this, you know. Well, I see you two have cozied up nicely already. Are you together by chance? Lynn finally realized how close we were and scooted away from me in a hurry after having been called out about it. No way, geez, I don't even want to think about that. Wow. Seemingly encouraged by the outburst, May cheerfully served a platter loaded with fruit and sliced meat, sat down to take Lynn's place at my side. She was quick to offer a cup of wine to quench my thirst. Wait, what? Then I help myself if you don't mind. Since we're not together and she's helping herself, is she hitting on me? Having fulfilled her duty, May leaned herself against me with no reservation. What's she up to? Maybe she's one of the red lilies. What's a red lily? Oh, Lynn wasn't taking that well at all. Her face was composed, but her hands weren't. If she squeezed her chopsticks any harder, snap! Yep, there they go. Broken by the iron grip of possessiveness. Ah, you need another set, perhaps. Allow me a moment. I will bring you a replacement. Okay, so it does seem like I am being a bit seduced there. The brushing of the face earlier, you know, it's like, it's. But yeah, okay. Definitely sounds like I'm attempting to be seduced. I worded that right? An attempt at seducing me has been put forward. As if nothing out of the ordinary had happened, May simply collected the broken chopsticks and departed to replace them. Returning quickly, May decided to sit a safer distance from me. It looked like she had tested the waters to her satisfaction. Pardon my manners, it's just so rare to have company out here. Do you have any interesting news from the outside, or perhaps you could tell me about yourselves? May shot a meaningful glance my way as she finished her request. He is under arrest. I'm in charge of bringing him to the capital. Unfazed by Lynn's barking, I took a deep drink of May's wine. It was quite the nicest I'd had in some time. Had little doubt that this night was going to be a good one. Oh my, Sir Kane, what would make you a criminal, would it not? That would make you a criminal, would it not? Realizing her lack of composure, Lynn silenced herself momentarily by snatching a sample from the platter. Not him, his father. King is being summoned as a defense witness for the trial. Somehow, Lynn seemed to be calming down quite well. May's service was doing its work. Lynn had forgotten both her hostility and her manners with just a taste of May's catering. I'm afraid I don't understand the story, young lady. Sir Kane, perhaps you can elaborate. Lynn scoffed at the idea of allowing me to explain. What? You can't think he's going to have anything honest to say when he's under arrest. Easy, Lynn. She's just curious. Sorry, May. This has been a sensitive topic for us. I hope you understand. Lynn summed it up pretty well, though I wouldn't agree that my father is a criminal at all, of course. And how isn't he? He betrayed the Imperium, did he not? Excuse me. I made a deliberate effort to swallow before responding. I didn't want this to turn heated like it had earlier today. My father is only guilty of offering aid to people in need. He thought the whole lot of them refugees, not rebels. What shame is there in providing comfort to the needy? A great deal when the needy raise arms against the Emperor. And why wouldn't they when his edicts drive them into desperation? To think that I would be so easily roped into this argument again. Drink was certainly having its effect on me after all. Strange it wasn't as though I had much wine since being seated. As I thought on it, I just noticed her flowers glowing some. I could feel May's eyes on me. Her gaze was a hungry one. Breaking the momentary pause, Lynn cut in again. What a help he was to him, seeing that the rabble were sentenced properly for their crimes. Should be grateful to my house, you know. Without us, the incident would have left a black stain on your name. Now this was news to me. What do you mean by that? You didn't know? My father appealed to the Emperor in person on behalf of your family. Did you think your treatment would be so lenient otherwise? You shouldn't disdain these kinds of favors, not when they save you from the fate you could have suffered. I see, perhaps you are right, Lynn. I owe you my thanks, don't I? Give your thanks to my father. You'll have plenty of time to show your gratitude when we reach the capital. Lynn looked quite pleased with herself. She must have thought I had known about the favors being done for me while being obstinately ungrateful for them. It may sound cynical, but I really did appreciate it. Not many would have pulled such strings for someone like myself. Then what fate does await Sir Kang at the capital? He'll be under supervision for a while, but his talent will not go wasted. He'll likely be promoted to a captain in the Imperial Guard. He won't be leaving the capital for some time then. It's a better deal than most get. You'd best not forget your gratitude to my father. You know well how this could have gone had you lacked his favor. She was right, of course. The Emperor did not have a reputation for mercy while he saw disloyalty in his subjects. It was a bit frightful to think what could have become of me. Then you won't be returning once you depart. It doesn't seem likely. I began to feel quite sorry for this woman, to have such a short visit from some rare set of guests, only to never be able to see them again. Must have been quite a lonesome life. What about yourself? You seem like you would do well in the city. Why not move there? I am kept here by a promise I made some time ago. Okay. And who would see to weary travelers in this pass if not for me? The trail is not so kind as it should be, though I'm sure you would know well enough about that. And then some, what with these frightful blizzards in the summertime. May giggled cheerfully at this and shifted herself toward me. What better way to see off a summer than with a snowstorm? May could have chosen her audience better, seeing as how we were nearly just killed by one. I decided to change the topic, having grown curious about the ornament in her hair. Okay, I was wondering about her glowing flower. So I've never seen a flower like that one. Where did you find it? For the first time, I saw a slight shock take hold of May's expression. She quickly covered it with a sly grin. Now, what sharp eyes you have, Sir Kang. Flower, what are you talking about? Have you had too much to drink already? Huh? Well, that was a strange reaction. Did I say something wrong? I'd better play it off. Your flower, it suits you well. It's deep and blue like your eyes. A lovely match for a beauty like yourself. You flatter me, good sir. It's been quite some time since I've been complimented so well. Don't get it. Is this some kind of joke? Is she not able to see the flower? Letting poor Lynn remain confused, May leaned into me and brought her voice to a whisper. You're quite handsome yourself, Sir Kang. Okay. For a moment I tempted myself with the thought of never leaving this place. As quick as it had come, our evening meal had gone. May gathered the tableware and stood from the table with an elegant posture. Please wait here while I prepare your rooms. Well, I think I'm going to go ahead and end the video here. Seems like an interesting enough visual novel. Yeah. Not sure what all the that was a weird reaction. Like, what's the deal with her, the flower in her hair? It acted like Lynn could not see it, or saw it differently somehow. There was a bit weird. And what was that promise that she made that kept her there? That's another thing that's curious. But yeah, I'm wondering what the whole story was like. Well, I mean, I guess most of the story's been told about the guy's dad helping the rebels by accident. Yeah, I wonder what the situation here is going to be like. What's going to go down here? You know what I mean? I'm guessing something's gonna maybe try to keep him there. You know, like she might try to keep the two of them there. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, the link will be down in the description below if you want to check out more of the game for yourself. It is $15. There's actually another game, maybe from the developer, same developer, called Forest Fortress. It's showing that I can get it for $5. I already own the game, so the price will be adjusted, you know, based on whether or not you already have this game or not. Which I'm probably going to assume you don't, you know. Although you might, and be watching my reaction to, you know, a game you've already played. But anyway, yeah, game's $15. Like I said, link will be down in the description below if you want to check it out for yourself. If you did like the video, then like the video. Let me know what you think and subscribe if you haven't. And I will see you in the next game. Later there, folks.